This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to HealthLink, a program connecting home, community, and healthcare. My name is Carol Merton, and today I'm delighted to welcome two guests to the program. In no particular order, Catherine Buchanan-Critch, who is an organizer for the Owen Sound PJ Walk, and you're going to learn more about that PJ Walk in a moment, and Sarah Dimitropoulos, who is a community fundraising and events associate with Childcan. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I must say, I was not familiar with Childcan, so I am so delighted to learn more about it. And it's a funny story. I was walking down the street with my dog for our morning constitutional, and I was stopped by someone that Kat knows very, very well to talk about it. And this whole program has come as a result of a walk down the street with my dog. So
Wonderful.
I'm delighted to have you both here. Now, I'm going to go through the questions that you sent, and I know our producer has photos that he'll just upload and edit as we go along. We may not see those as we're talking, but we're going to leave it entirely up to our producer to handle that part of the editing function. So Sarah, I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit, and our viewing audience and listening audience, what's Childcan and what does the organization do?
Yeah, so we are a small community-based charity in London, Ontario. And our mission, it's simple but powerful. It's to raise awareness and funds so that we can provide personalized, responsive, and compassionate programs and services to the families that are facing a childhood cancer diagnosis, from diagnosis through treatment to recovery and sometimes bereavement. As I said, we are a small charity based in London, and we serve any family that is diagnosed at Children's Hospital, which is part of London Health Sciences Centre. And our catchment area mimics that of the hospital. So we serve families from all across southwestern Ontario, from Windsor, Essex, up to Kitchener-Waterloo, from the shores of Lake Erie, up to Grey Bruce and beyond. In fact, we support 25% of all families who have a child diagnosed with cancer in Ontario.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did a little bit of looking at some of our data at the families that we've served up in the Owen Sound area. And I looked at about a 30-minute radius from the city. And since 2006, we've served 42 families in that area.
Wow.
10 of them have just been since 2021.
Wow. How long has Childcan been in operation?
So we were founded 50 years ago, actually 51. We had our 50th anniversary last year.
So before we go too far down our discussion, I really do want you to explain how it's funded, and also then how can people support Childcan? This is your opportunity to make the request to our community to be able to support the initiative. And I know certainly Kat will have perhaps more of a personal note to share with us as when we get to that part of the program. But
yeah, absolutely.
It's an amazing organization. How can people support you?
Yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit more about how we support our families. So when a family hears the word, your child has cancer, it's not only an emotional shock, but it's a financial one as well. Families often see their income decrease dramatically, as one parent often has to step away from their job in order to care for their child or take them to their many, many appointments. In fact, studies have shown that about a third of a family's income will go to treatment-related costs.
Wow.
And so that's one way that Childcan steps in to try and ease that burden. So we do this by providing parking passes to every family, so no family has to pay for parking while their child's getting treatment. We provide meal vouchers when your child is impatient, so parents can use that to go to the cafeteria and get themselves something to eat, or they can use it to get their child something to eat because kids don't often like the hospital food. We have direct financial assistance for urgent needs for families, and that can be different for every family. It's personalized to what they need, whether it's groceries, it's making rent, it's childcare to help care for siblings that are back at home. We provide support for treatment travel expenses. Like, as I said, our catchment area is huge, so families often have to travel long distances for their treatment, for their many follow-up appointments. We provide sibling support. We have post-secondary education bursaries for our children that are now young adults and are pursuing their dreams. And we provide support for funeral expenses when the unthinkable happens. But the challenges are not just financial with childhood cancer. It can be very isolating. So Childcan also tries to foster connection and community. And we do this through our family support liaison who meets with our families directly. We plan family activities. We have a recreational therapy program. We have volunteer tutors for kids who missed out on big parts of their education or who have learning challenges as a result of their treatment. And we assist with bereavement counseling for families that are facing losses. On top of that, we also work with the Pediatric Oncology Research Unit at the London Health Sciences to fund access to clinical trials. So families don't have to travel quite as far in order to get cutting edge treatment much closer to home. So after having said all that and what we do, we receive no government funding. So we are completely dependent on fundraising events and donations in order to provide all of these services to the families that we support. And Carol, you had asked sort of how people can donate or support. So there's a number of different ways that you can support us. One is direct donations through our website. I think I gave that to Mark. It's just childcan.com. You can support our signature events, which are Pajama Walk, which we'll talk a little bit more about. We also have a big polar bear dip down here in the London area. We have people supporting us through third-party events. So you can have a bake sale, a garage sale, take whatever you love to do and raise some money for us.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month annually. Can you tell us about when that is and what sorts of things are done in that month?
Yeah, absolutely. So September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And September is usually a time of excitement. Families are getting ready to go back to school. Kids are mostly excited to go back to school. But there's kids that aren't able to go back to school. They're in hospital because of treatment. They're too sick to be around other kids. And unfortunately, there's kids that should be here and aren't. And that's why we work really hard through the month of September to raise awareness. And we do this in a number of different ways. So across our entire catchment area, a number of municipalities, including Owen Sound, will fly our gold ribbon flag. And I believe there'll be a picture of that on the website as well. We have municipalities lighting up buildings in gold or yellow. We have municipalities declaring September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And we have lawn signs that people can put out on their lawn to help raise awareness.
Why the gold ribbon?
It's quite simple, Carol. The gold is a precious metal, and children are our most precious resource, or sorry, our most precious treasure. So it then makes sense for the gold ribbon to represent childhood cancer awareness.
That's amazing. That connectedness is amazing. So we're going to be talking a little bit about a PJ walk, but tell me more about the significance of wearing pajamas. That really captured my attention as I was reading more about certainly Childcan and the activities.
Yeah. So at all of our walks, we encourage everyone to show up in their pajamas. because kids going through cancer treatment spend far too much time in their pajamas, whether they're in hospital getting treatment or they're at home recovering. Pajamas become part of their everyday life. And by walking in our pajamas, we're standing in solidarity with them. It also makes for a good visual. When you go to a public park and you see all of these people walking in their pajamas, it makes you ask questions, and it's an opportunity for us to tell people about Childcan and raise awareness.
Now, anyone who wants to learn more, you did mention that you have a website as
Mhm.
well. Are there local chapters or local connections as well for people
Actually,
to
there are. Actually, recently, really in the last year, we've expanded our walk program. Historically, we'd had them in London and in Windsor. And last year, we expanded to Mitchell up into Owen Sound. And this year, we're going to have one in Sarnia as well. So we're very grateful to Kat and Esther for taking on that challenge up in Owen Sound. I know it's a lot of work, but it was very successful. And I'm really excited to see how that goes this year.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Kat, it's your turn now.
All
And
right.
maybe you can, Esther was the one I spoke to
Yeah.
on my walk. And if you'd like to maybe tell us the connection with Esther, but also you have another deeper connection as well. So I'm wondering if you could tell us a bit about your story and your connection to Childcan.
Of course. So Esther is my mother. She was my rock and has been helping me with the organization of the Childcan PJ Walk in Owen Sound. So a bit of backstory in regards to why this is so near and dear to my heart. On June 25th of 2023, at the age of 6 months old, our son Dominic got very sick. I took him to our local emerge department in Owen Sound. About 5 days in, he was not improving. And so they did send him to London's Children's Hospital, in which case Dominic underwent many tests and scans and examinations from countless doctors there. And on July 1st, instead of us watching the beautiful fireworks over Georgian Bay as planned, we were watching them from the hospital bed at London Children's Hospital. And we just found out that Dominic was diagnosed with a stage 3 neuroblastoma tumor in his abdomen, which had partially formed around his spinal cord. And it was the most devastating news that we've ever been given in our lives. So for the next 6 months, Dominic was in and out of the hospital, but he was unable to come home to Owen Sound as he needed 9 rounds of chemotherapy and various other procedures such as a port implantation and tests and scans. And then his immunity was also extremely compromised due to the cancer and the chemotherapy that he was having. So staying in London for 6 months meant that our 3-year-old daughter at the time would stay at home with her dad, as Sarah was saying that, income is an issue. So you do usually have one person take on one role and another for the other. But they would come and visit on the weekends. And it was very difficult, but it was necessary to give our younger daughter some normalcy in this really difficult time. So during the time of diagnosis and such, Childcan was our first support that we met when we were at the London Hospital, and we found out he had cancer. And a wonderful woman named Renee, who was part of Childcan, came to our hospital room and she introduced herself. She had actually told us about her own story, about her daughter and some challenges medically that she had gone through. And it really helped knowing that somebody was there for us and who had gone through these really challenging times as well. And the whole Childcan team is honestly amazing. They offered to help, as Sarah said, with meal vouchers for the hospital, for ourselves and for Dominic and Blake, gas cards for him to be driving back and forth from Owen Sound to London on the weekends. And also we needed help in regards to offsetting bills for childcare, as we did keep Blake in daycare at that time. But so many other things that they did, and they still do. We still take Dominic for regular appointments down in London every 3 months for continuous scans. I am happy to say that he will be cancer-free, fingers crossed, this December for 2 years. But with that still comes the regular scans, and he does have some health issues due to the chemotherapy and the tumor. But unlike other organizations, Renee and the other people who were with Childcan stopped in to see us and were there during his treatment times. Even we would speak sometime for hours during treatment, and to be honest, some days were more like therapy. And you could speak openly to the people who had their own stories, and they understood how it felt having a sick child. And we all became friends, and I've always just felt immense support from their whole entire team.
So the way you describe the journey, first of all, of course, your child who has cancer had cancer. It also affects the whole family, including grandparents and all the extended family. It's not just the nuclear family that has the impact, and it affects everyone. You're describing to me how it starts. So right in the hospital, there's a connection with Childcan, but it doesn't end at discharge then. It continues. It continues. And I would anticipate that connection is critical, because cancer is a diagnosis, but it's also a journey. And it's a long journey for some. That's a very emotional journey for sure. So having that ongoing connectedness must be so supporting to everyone for sure. What does Dominic say about his involvement? And I mean, we're adults here, but what does he share with you about the supports, the food?
Yeah. Well, he was, like I said, only 6 months at the time of diagnosis. So while he was in the hospital, he said his first words, he took his first steps, he crawled for the first time. All of these major milestones that we figured we'd do at home were done in hospital. Now he's 2.5 and he's talking and laughing and everything else. And to be honest with you, I don't think he knows much of what took place, but I am going to shout from the mountaintops how much, he was strong, and I'll try not to get emotional, and very brave little boy. And the support systems that we had, that I can't say enough how much it meant to us and how much it still means to us as we, as you said, go through his journey.
Yeah. And being emotional is absolutely expected and just fine, because what you're describing is so powerful and so intense. Such tremendous admiration for you.
Thank you.
And for everyone, especially Dominic.
Very much so. Yes, he's a brilliant little boy now. It's phenomenal to see where he's come. So
now we need to talk about the PJ Walk. Fill us in, because it would be great if community individuals could participate or donate. When is it going to be? Obviously, people know what to wear now.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Before we talk about that, you're wearing a T-shirt that I'm wondering.
I am.
Yeah, we need you to. So it says, "Ask me why I'm wearing PJs." So I'm asking you.
So as Sarah mentioned, most of the children facing childhood cancer don't spend a lot of time outside of their PJs. So Childcan made these wonderful shirts that are available on their website, and we were sure to get some and support Childcan while getting the shirt. And we added it to our last PJ Walk in September, as exactly what you said. It's nice when you're walking down the street, somebody asks you, and you can start to indulge and give awareness and understanding in regards to what's happened and how you can help people like Childcan. And with that, we'll be hosting the next PJ Walk for Childcan on Sunday, September 21st at Harrison Park in Owen Sound. And the registration will be at around 11, and the walk will likely begin around 12 noon. And we've rented that picnic shelter there at Harrison Park as our main gathering area. We'll have some snacks and refreshments as well, of course. And yeah, hosting it at beautiful Harrison Park is such a lovely way to bring the community in. And we know that all the proceeds from the Childcan Walk support over 250 families that Childcan serves annually. So yeah.
So young, old, people pushing strollers, doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
right?
You got it. Yeah. And
Bring your
it's nice-
dog.
Exactly.
Bring your dog.
And being at Harrison Park, I find it's very accessible for anyone. So it's a quite a nice way to bring people together.
How else will you promote this? Because we for sure want to get the word out. So do you have I'm not sure if you would do it or Childcan does it, a promo media kind of connection. How will you promote this?
Yeah, so we will, as we get closer, start promoting it a little bit more. Our website should be up and running the end of June, so you'll be able to access that from our main website, and you will be able to see all the different locations with all the details of those walks. We'll have posters that can be put up. We will be advertising it on our social media, which Kat can share with the community up there. And we hope to have a little bit more, now that we have our walks in different areas, target our marketing a little bit more to our families that are in those specific areas so that they can know that these walks are happening.
Do you find that families usually participate? Is there a hesitancy? I mean, we always recognize the sensitivity, obviously,
Mhm.
around health conditions and people's comfort level.
Yeah.
How do you find that? Is it a barrier, or do you find that people are wanting to talk?
I think people want to come out and talk, and it's an opportunity for our community to come together. And it's, families seeing other families. We have families that are bereaved. We have families that are currently going through treatment. We have families of children that are in recovery. And it's just wonderful to see all those families come together. And it's a space where they can talk about it and share their story. And that our bigger walks, historically, we do have a family come and share their story. So I don't find that it's been a barrier. We do make them very family friendly. All ages are welcome. So no, I don't really find that there's been any barriers to people coming out or feeling comfortable talking about it, because it is sometimes a sensitive topic.
For sure,
Mhm.
But the support from a community and from each other
Absolutely.
through challenging times, for sure. So, Kat, have you participated in a walk yourself?
Yes. So we got home in December of 2023 and then tried to get back into we'll say, somewhat normal frame of life. And it was kind of spur of the moment, but we, like I said, have been really supported by Childcan and still to this day are. And I really wanted to reach out to our community. So we did put one on kind of spare of the minute. It wasn't all that ahead of time last year, but to be honest, the outreach of people who came or who were even walking Harrison Park last year just randomly and decided to register and participate and donate was phenomenal. And during our time at London Hospital, we spent a bit of time at the Ronald McDonald House, in which case we even talked to some families there and learned that they were from Tobermory or
Wow.
from Guelph or from like as Sarah said, from the surrounding area. And until your child has cancer, you don't even think about it. You don't think it's a thing that happens. It's like you said, it's almost a stigma where you don't want to talk about it. But I feel like there is this sense of community and togetherness when you do have other families working together and coming together to talk about it.
Mhm.
And although it's a difficult thing to talk about, it's happening, it's real, whether we like it or not. So to provide awareness and support to other families is wonderful. So I'm hoping this year, with a little bit more organization and a little more time, we can have all of those families from the surrounding area come together and meet in Owen Sound and promote childcare.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Certainly, if you have posters, that people can social media post.
yes,
I would appreciate receiving one. I would like to be able
absolutely.
to share
Once we
that.
get those printed, I will circulate them throughout the community, as well as I'll post them, as Sarah said, on Facebook. And
Yep.
I'll probably be going door to door downtown Owen Sound anyways. So
Yes.
Awesome.
And you have my email, so you can
you will
definitely
certainly get a
reach out
copy,
to
I
me
promise.
as well. We
Yeah.
have about 3 more minutes approximately in the show. I'm just wondering at this point if we can take a moment and Sarah, you've been doing this for a while now. Any surprises for you out of all of this? Anything that you didn't expect?
Out of
Your experience with Childcan.
Yeah, so I've been only with Childcan for about 18 months now.
Okay.
So it's all still pretty new to me, but I'm actually a Childcan parent myself. My son was diagnosed back in 2015. So it's nice now to be able to see it from both standpoints. I've been on the receiving end of Childcan's support, and now I get to be a part of ensuring that families continue to get that support when they need it the most.
So we've heard the phrase lived experience in a variety of different ways, and what you are saying is you have that lived experience.
Yeah, there's 2 of us on the Childcan staff right now that have that lived experience.
And that certainly creates that knowledge and compassion, but also walking alongside those
Absolutely.
who are walking the journey, which I think is really, really important.
Absolutely.
Kat, any surprises for you out of your experience?
Just with Childcan, like exactly what Sarah just said, knowing that you have those people who have been through it, and it's rough and it's hard, but we all kind of get through it. And I've met people who have survived and who have lost. And it's just, I feel like it's very important that we have more awareness, because as I said, until you know somebody who's going through it, you don't think it's even happening, because there just isn't that much awareness. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to fly that flag at City Hall in September and show people that this is happening, and to support a place like Childcan, who, as Sarah said, has no government funding whatsoever, and needs it to help families like ours and like Sarah's. So.
Yeah. And we're, like I said, we're a very small organization, so trying to compete with bigger places like the hospital or Ronald McDonald House for donations is always a challenge. And unless you've been on the receiving end of Childcan services, a lot of people don't know about Childcan. So it's really important to bring awareness to who we are and what we do, so we can continue to do what we do.
Absolutely. I want to thank you both for sharing from the heart and for sharing the message, because this is just so critical and important for our communities to be able to be aware and to be supportive. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you to our viewing and listening audience for joining us today on HealthLink. To learn more about resources, services available to you and to your family, please take care and stay safe. Thank you. Double thumbs up.
Okay.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content